Hey, I'm Adamo if you're new here, and in this video I want to share the best purchases I've made in my 20s so far. I recently had a birthday and I'm in my mid-20s at the moment, and I was reflecting on the things that I had given my hard-earned cash to that I could say objectively have improved my life and helped me develop into the person I am today and the person I see myself in the future. And that's kind of what I wanted to do today. So, let's just go straight into it. Now, the first thing on this list for me is high quality tech, specifically my MacBook and my iPhone. These two things have changed my whole life, I would actually argue, right? From my iPhone, which was the first thing that I ever recorded a YouTube video on and put it out there, which, changed so many things for me. 3 years on, here I still am. We've built a community. It's just so much has changed. And a lot of that was to do with that iPhone. And I know any camera phone potentially could have done that, but that was my way into this, what I do here. And so one of the best purchases I've ever made. The MacBook kind of joins in with that. It not only has helped me with schoolwork at times and uni work, it has helped me with applications, it has helped me with editing my videos. That whole process there of both education and career are tied to my phone and my MacBook. So it's an integral part of me being in my 20s. The next thing on this list was my Code Academy membership. I think it cost around £250 or something like that, right? And this is obviously where I learned to code, as the name would suggest. But the real kind of crux here is paying for something that was going to help me get a high quality skill or a high earning skill, which perhaps this is the most important financial decision I made in my early 20s, right? Was to get that membership, start coding, which then led me down the path I am to the money that I'm earning at the age I am. I could have spent that money on clothes when I'm trying to remember how old I was. Maybe I was 22, 21 when I bought that membership. I can't remember, but early 20s. Or, hair extensions or my nails or whatever. But I still can spend it on that. And the payoff, the return on investment, exponential for me and helping me level up in my 20s. I've used that money for other things, like being able to buy certain gear, being able to pay for memberships for gym and stuff like that, and all these other things that come with the freedom of having access to capital and money. The next thing on this list is kind of wardrobe staples. So as I progressed through my 20s, I realized that I had a lot of just random stuff, random clothes, and I would often get angry because I didn't feel like I could just easily put things together and look good when I went out. Not that I looked like trash, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't so smooth to maybe look elegant or maybe look casual, smart casual, things like that. But the best things I've spent money on are like classical pieces, like maybe a black satin dress or white pumps, things like this that really can effortlessly bring you together. And so spending money on those, and sometimes spending more money, like even on a bag that is of higher quality, quality leather and things like that. I'm a big advocate of, what you look like matters. How you carry yourself throughout this world matters. And there'll be consequences for all of us if we do or do not take notice of this. But so that made things a lot easier. The next thing on this list is my gym memberships. I have never, ever, 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 ever regretted getting a gym membership and spending, I spent from at the cheapest maybe £15 when I was really young to the most I've ever paid for a membership, maybe around £80. And I don't regret any of it. The gym has, again, changed my whole life. Obviously, in the way that I look, and my fitness has been completely improved by attending the gym regularly, by lifting, by being part of the gym community and all of those things. But it's more than that. I was also able, again, to come and share that information and use that to build a guide that helped women get into weightlifting and weight training. So not only was I impacting my own kind of fitness in my 20s, but able to share that information. So again, gym membership has helped me level up in the way I look, the feel, and share. So the next thing on this list is paying for expert advice, whether it has been PT sessions, business coaches, whether it has been dermatologists. Taking my money and paying for the advice of experts has often been a very valuable thing that I've done in my 20s. I haven't had to do it all the time and throughout because, we have so many sources of information that eventually you could get to the same point, but it was going to take you a lot longer. And being able to kind of circumvent some of those issues and effectively learning from others, right, who have that knowledge, who have the experience and pay for their time, has paid off wonders. Right, there's that saying that a wise man learns from the mistake of others, or really from the knowledge of others, which is what paying for expert time has done, and why I've always advocated for, if you do have the funds and you're at a crossroads or you're at a point where you're stagnating in whatever, whether it be fitness, nutrition, business, whatever the case, then seeking expert advice can be really useful to getting you to that next step, as it has done for me in my 20s. The next thing on this list is the first trip that I paid for myself, and that was my trip to Asia. So I visited Japan, Bali, Thailand, and Vietnam. Now, the reason why this trip was so fundamental to changing my 20s, because I traveled before that, right, with my family and stuff, and I've traveled since. But this trip, the countries I visited were so different to the one that I was from, the UK, or even some of the ones I'd seen. It was this whole exposure to how all of us who are humans, which sounds nuts, but living such different experiences, having such different experiences of the same planet, in terms of culture, in terms of technology, in terms of traditions, that it really got me excited for life. I remember coming back from that trip like pumped, like, oh my, there is so much to be done out here. There is so many opportunities, so many things that we can do that we probably even haven't thought about. And that was, again, early in my 20s that I did this. I think I was around 21 on this trip. And it set me off about how I thought about the world, how I thought about what was possible, and how I could grow in my 20s. An invaluable trip. The next thing on this list of my best purchases is self-help books. Well, some. If you've seen some of the videos on my channels, you may know I've been critical at times of self-help books, right? But I still have always said self-help books have some of the biggest impacts on our lives, and I'm no different, including the 4-Hour Work Week, Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know, these kind of classics. And they're classics for a reason, right? They've impacted people, and that's why they're so widespread and people talk about them and they pick them up and they read them. And some of these books that I've interacted with have really changed my outlook and access to information I didn't get growing up. Most of us weren't taught financial literacy or financial education at school. And so we had to go and seek that out ourselves. And so these books have been a accessible way for so many of us to get that information without having to go to uni or whatever in that particular field. But also books that are more holistic, if you'd like, in terms of life, like The Defining Decade, which I only recently read, but has had a really, really great impact on how I think about multiple things. So not just career, but also about, you know, things like relationships and family, and also just how your body is being impacted by, you know, the chemistry of your 20s, the chemicals that are being released, the physical changes in your body and stuff like that. But yeah, that's another video, and check that out if you're interested. So moving on, the next thing on this list is at-home grooming stuff. So the moment I learned to kind of do my own hair was a really freeing thing for me, like do all these different styles, make it look, you know, quite glamorous, maybe casual, all these things that I did, protective styles, my natural hair, stuff like that. I was able to kind of open up a world of looks for myself that I didn't have to pay somebody extreme amounts of money for, that I could do myself. And so in terms of the money I spent was in getting the kind of stuff together that I needed at home, in terms of combs, in terms of, you know, clips, things like that. If there was extensions involved. And then just having that all in my own hands and being able to handle it myself was one of the best purchases I ever made, or set of purchases. The same is true with nail stuff and my nail kit. So I have an at-home nail kit that I kind of got during the pandemic because I couldn't go to the nail shop and get my nails done, and I was sick of tired of looking at my nails. They looked funky. And so it kind of just continued after that. My friend showed me some builder gel stuff. I got that. And those purchases meant for the last year, with the exception of my birthday when I got my nails done because I just wanted the French tip, I've been doing all my own nails and saved so much money, been able to change the one I want. And, you know, just how I feel, like beauty and hair and beauty is a really big part of how we express ourselves often and how we go out into the world. And so that being in control, or my control, has helped me level up, I would say, in my 20s, and just navigate with a bit more confidence, knowing that a lot of this stuff I can do for myself and will do for myself. The next thing is noise cancelling headphones, specifically Beats. Now, if you've seen me in a fitness video or anything like that, you'll see that I almost always have Beats headphones on. I've had Beats throughout my 20s. In fact, before, when my sister bought my first pair, I think at 16 or something like that. And I absolutely love them. Now, this may seem kind of trivial and silly, like headphones. I have worn those things working out and had some of the best workouts of my whole life with that. You know, it's just me, the music, I can't hear anything else, and the experience is wild. But it's actually wild. I have worn those headphones when I've been revising and played classical music to get me into, into this rhythm, or when I was doing my dissertation, or when I've been editing videos and listening to the sound through those headphones. I cannot explain how, well, you obviously know, but a good audio experience, how that affects whatever you're doing. And when we're talking about things like health and fitness, or we're talking about things like education or work, all those things I just listed, or creative pursuits like the videos I make, how you feel impacts how you perform. And so it's great to have had those throughout my 20s, really. And I'm always a fan of over-the-ear headphones. I'm still yet to get those in-ear ones because I'm scared that they're gonna fall out all the time. But I know that's a look. But anyway. But that's it. Those are some of the best purchases that I've made in my 20s. I would do it again. I would buy these things again because they have helped me, whether it's been from health, like I said, whether it's been from money perspective. All of these things have helped me, and so I am all for them. This was just kind of a light one, but perhaps you're going to find something useful in this and take it away. I will see you in the next video.